tuned into Quick Charge, the high voltage podcast bringing you the top stories in electric vehicles and sustainable energy daily. And it's all powered by Electrek. Welcome to Quick Charge. It's July 23rd, 2025, and I'm your host, Joe Boris. There's bound to be a ton of big Tesla news today surrounding the Q2 results, but I'm going to focus primarily on FSD safety. By Tesla's own admission, using their own data, we're confirming that Autopilot safety has actually regressed in 2025 compared to 2024. The Autopilot safety reports consist of Tesla releasing the miles driven between crashes for Tesla vehicles with Autopilot features turned on and comparing that with the miles driven by vehicles with Autopilot technology with the features not turned on, as well as the average US mileage between crashes. We've often highlighted how Tesla's Autopilot safety report is flawed in many ways. First of all, their methodology is self-reported. Tesla counts only crashes that trigger an airbag or restraint. Minor bumps are excluded, and raw crash counts or VMT are not disclosed. There's also road type bias. Autopilot is mainly used on limited access highways, already the safest roads, while the federal baseline blends all road classes, meaning there are more crashes per mile on city streets than on highways. There's also a mix of driver and fleet age. Tesla drivers skew newer vehicle, higher income, and tech enthusiasts. These demographics typically crash less. The primary value of Tesla's quarterly Autopilot safety reports lies in comparing the miles between crashes with Autopilot features turned on over time. Today, Tesla released its Autopilot safety report for Q2 of 2025, and the data clearly shows that mileage between accidents has shortened with Autopilot engaged in 2025 compared to the same period last year. This is happening amid Tesla being challenged in California over false advertising of its Autopilot and full self-driving features. We've got all these charts, all these numbers over at electrek.co. Check out the show notes for that. You can go through them and just take a look at it. Now, I can already hear a couple of people in the comments. They're going to write things like, well, there's more Teslas on the road now. That means there's going to be more crashes. No, their whole driving selling point has always been that when there are more Teslas on the road, they're going to be collecting more data. More data means more processing, more AI, better AI, and supposedly then more safety, improved safety. That's just not what is happening. You can also check out that Tesla court case that we covered on Monday. That is the one that says Tesla might lose its right to sell cars, effectively being banned from selling new cars in California for a minimum of 30 days while this false advertising lawsuit gets sorted out. Now, before we move on from Tesla, we should talk about Tesla's retro-futuristic diner and supercharging station. It is opened as of this week. People have been there as of last night. People have started checking this out. This is kind of a combination lounge slash diner slash charging hub slash drive-in. People can come in, connect their cars. They can watch the movies, listen to it through their audio speakers. They can go and sit on the rooftop and check that out. It seems really neat if you're into like that Star Wars kind of vibe to it. It's got a lot of lights there, and Fred is a huge fan of the styling. There's a great video here that gives you a full kind of fly through of the location. They, show the videos there. You can get a good sense of what it's all about. This is all drone footage, really great video that Fred shared. I will have a link to that in the show notes as well. But really interesting stuff. Now, it is, of course, a new experience. It's a new business, and it's not something that Tesla has ever done before, right? They're a tech company. They make cars. They claim to make robots. Well, they had a few robots working at the station, and immediately on day one, the robots got stuck. They had some kind of connection error, and they all froze in place. So if you're waiting for a Tesla Optimus to deliver your hot dog or get you your popcorn, there was a couple of minutes there where that certainly wasn't happening. And again, that's not to pile on Tesla. They've got enough trouble. This is just kind of a funny thing where if you try to replace people with AI and robots, this is the kind of thing that you got to expect to happen, right? If you're a pioneer, you got to expect to catch a few arrows. So check out that video. That's pretty humorous stuff. Now, Moving on from Tesla, Lucid is driving EV innovation in America with or without help from Washington. We've talked earlier in the week about how Lucid and Uber have a deal to put 20,000 gravities, self-driving gravities, on the road in the next few years. Well, now they're making big moves to advance electric vehicles in the U.S., launching a new alliance with 4 U.S. producers. They're building out their own domestic supply chain for EVs to help American businesses take off. The Minerals for National Automotive Competitiveness Collaboration, or MINAC, is designed to strengthen the U.S. supply chain for EVs. Lucid launched the new alliance on Wednesday, that's today, with 4 U.S.-based critical mineral producers, including Alaska Energy Metals, Graphite One, Electrek Metals, and Recyclico. Those guys are super cool. According to Lucid, its new partnership will help accelerate the development of domestic critical mineral resources and the procurement of these minerals for use in automotive manufacturing by U.S.-based automakers and Tier 1 suppliers. Lucid outlined a few initiatives the MINAC Alliance aims to address, including advancing domestic mineral production through the completion of offtake agreements for American critical minerals for use in American automobiles, identifying and resolving barriers, as well as accelerating commercialization and customer adoption, expanding coordination between the mining and automotive sectors, supporting the qualification and procurement of domestically produced materials by U.S.-based automakers and Tier 1 suppliers. Mark Winterhoff, Lucid's interim CEO, said following recent agreements, the company is doubling down on powering American innovation and looks forward to building the next generation of automotive manufacturing in the United States. Great stuff there, and we got to love to see it. Now, finally, before we sign off today, we've got this story from Ford. One Ford driver, actually a rideshare driver, has put 250,000 miles on his Mustang Mach-E in just 3 years. And not only is his EV going strong, it's going really strong with more than 90% of its original battery capacity still there. Those 250,000 plus miles and frequent DC fast charging were validated by Mustang Mach-E chief product engineer Matthew Gabriel, who said that David Blankley's use case offers compelling evidence that modern electric vehicles are engineered for exceptional longevity and reliability, and that this example provides a clear view on what long-term EV ownership is set to be like. Now, of course, a couple of caveats here. Ford has an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on its battery, so this vehicle is technically out of warranty. If anything happens to the battery, David will be out of pocket to pay for it. But that said, plenty of opportunities to put big miles on these cars. They last, they go and go and go, just like the Energizer Bunny. In fact, I might even put a link to the original Energizer Bunny video in the article here. That's all I've got for today, January 23rd. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And man, it's hot out there today, boys. So stay cool, stay indoors, stay in the shade, put on some SPF sunscreen, and live to see another day.